Thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to crank up results of Q4 using virtual bundles. And I have with me the head of our PPC department here at CANOPY Management, but also a very talented Amazon marketer himself who has deployed many strategies, and including the one that we are talking about today, Patrick Donnellan. Thank you very much for joining us. Fantastic.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
All right, so I'm going to, where's the share screen? And then just jump right into this presentation real quick. All right, that should do it. All right, so we'll just jump right in because we got all the intros and everything in here anyway. Crank up the results with this virtual bundle strategy. Discover how to bundle products together virtually, deploy them strategically, and make more sales. And oftentimes without any discounts. So first things first, this presentation is brought to you by CANOPY Management. Here's some stats that we love to share because we're super proud of them. 105% profit growth through PPC on average for our partners, 38% conversion lift for our partners that we do listing optimization for, and 84% overall profit growth.
Yeah, I mean, the creative side of the house is killing it right now. That 38% conversion lift. I know everybody out there is doing the math, doing some quick math, thinking those are dollars going in my pocket.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we'll actually talk more about them later on in this presentation too. But jumping right in first, of course, as I briefly introduced, but we'll go more into detail, Patrick Donnellan, Director of Amazon Services, also a serial entrepreneur. I apologize if you don't like that term. I know a lot of people who like to have businesses do not like the term serial entrepreneur, but I haven't been presented with a better descriptor word for yet. So
yeah, it's almost like something you should go to. It sounds like something you should go to a doctor for, but no, it's not. I've been involved in a lot of buy and build kind of strategies. Also, before I got into Amazon, I did a lot of evaluation of companies for acquisition, and that's sort of how I met Brian Johnson, because he was sort of one of the better guys to give me an idea of, not like I could do the math on the spreadsheet side, but give me an idea of how good of an Amazon play is this. And that was sort of how I fell in love with Brian and his big brain.
Awesome. Well, we're all the better for it now.
Yes.
We'll move on here. This is me. For anybody that doesn't know me, I've just been in the industry for a little while. Worked for a couple of the software companies in the space, and for the most part, my, I guess, role in this whole thing with regard to helping and educating Amazon sellers is typically around things revolving ranking and the algorithm launches. PPC is definitely not my strong suit, and that's why I love the fact that I can collaborate with individuals like you, because you can answer questions about things like PPC that I can't. So that's good. But today, we're actually not talking about PPC. We're talking about virtual bundles. So moving into that, the first question, just for anybody that might not be aware, can you go ahead and explain what a virtual bundle actually is?
Yeah, it's people who work on Amazon or sell on Amazon. They've made bundles before. That's when you take product A and product B, you put them in separate packaging, you send them off to Amazon. They're essentially, it's a third product, right? It's not, it's a separate UPC. It's lots of people do it. This is the hard way to do it, right? You have to know. You have to test, you have to do all of those things before you actually spend the sweat equity of creating the actual bundle. Virtual bundle is much easier. You take product A, you actually take listing A and listing B, and you merge them, and you've created that virtual third product. Amazon goes in and picks product A, product B. They put them in an envelope, and they put them in a box and send them to the buyer. Each bundle has to contain at least 2, but it can contain as many as 5 ASINs. Sky's the limit on the amount, so you could have 2 of one, 7 of another, 3 of a third. And each ASIN has to be buyable on its own, so it's got to be separate ASIN products on Amazon. And like I said before, you don't need a UPC code. That's really it. You're just taking any of your sellable ASINs and virtually merging them into an additional listing, and you can market those.
Okay.
They offer value. Customers like this. They can click and visit the detail page on the Amazon search engine. So you can click it, you go to its own detail page. Searching for multiple products multiple times is painful for buyers. And Amazon has done a lot of studies on this, and the frequently bought together sort of came out of that, where they're doing the work ahead of time for you. So if you have, that's sort of a quick hack. If you have any of your products that have a frequently bought together, they should be a virtual bundle right off the bat.
See, that's a good hack though.
Yeah.
It's funny. I started selling in 2014, and I remember back in those days, everybody, you, in the forums, you always get like the newbie questions. One of the biggest newbie questions was like, well, how do I offer bundles? Because the reason why everybody was talking about bundles was that was kind of like a tactic that a lot of newer sellers were being taught, like, hey, how you can stand out against your competitors is by offering more than they do. And so bundles were super popular, probably between 2015 2016 particularly. Super popular. But everybody's asking the question, how do you do it? Because they didn't realize
to it too.
Yes.
If you're selling someone else's product, well, if you can put 2 or 3 of them together, you can differentiate your product even from the actual manufacturer's product.
But the challenge there was, if you sent all your stuff in FBA, everybody's asking. This is the newbie question. Can I get Amazon to do it for me? No, of course you can't. You literally have to have a separate UPC. You have to pull the products back to you. You have to put them in the same box yourself, because all Amazon does is it takes UPC to ASIN, and this ASIN goes to the customer. And then I guess they saw the opportunity for more sales by not having to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the virtual bundle is a genius answer to that issue. There was some hacks out there where you could do the MFN and bundle and sort of send it around back and make Amazon do it, but there was a lot of risk to it. You had the tracking, the returns. It was pretty hectic. Amazon doing it, obviously they did it because it makes them more money, but that doesn't mean it's not going to create opportunities to maximize profits. It definitely can increase revenue, can increase average order value, which is also important, and it does increase or decrease your customer acquisition costs. Right, you're getting 2 sales with 1 ad, 1 click. Yep, and then there's implications there for session percentage and what that does to ranking. There's just a lot of positives.
I mean, it definitely, it's another listing, right? So it can increase your visibility on the Amazon search engine result page. There are independent listings on that result page. It's harder for customers to comparison shop because they're doing 2 products instead of 1. There's math. We know they hate math. So, it definitely does help positioning, and it definitely does enhance profitability. And without that hurdle of having to pre-package and know this is what you're going to sell, you can test an infinite number of virtual bundles and see what works, and just take the rest out behind the woodshed.
Right on. All right. Okay, so this must be an example here.
Yeah, this is one I just pulled from Amazon this morning. No idea about the product. I made sure it wasn't one of our partners. So, but all the way down here in the red box, that is the other company's ads. So you're really, and you can see by how small the writing here is, the fold happens right about here on desktop, right about the middle of this bundle contains 2 items.
Okay.
Right in between right about the second item, that's where the fold happens on a desktop. So you're literally eliminating everything but the sponsored display ads, your competitors' sponsored display ads from your product page. So it's gigantic.
I would have never thought of that as like a part of the strategy, right? Like, not only do you sell more stuff, but the sneaky part of the strategy is that this pushes your competitors' promotions farther away so that they're harder to be seen. That's
right.
Genius.
Right. And I mean, it's so far that right now they don't have these on mobile. And I think the reason why is because if you could imagine how far this would push those competitor ads on a mobile listing, it would be 15 or 20 thumb flips before you'd get somebody stealing your business. I hope that they do move it to mobile for that very reason, because we're seeing the mobile numbers, the actual sales on the mobile numbers go straight up. So I mean, more and more of Amazon sales are going to happen on mobile. You want as much functionality as possible there. But yeah, there's 2 reasons. I think if you go to the next slide, there's 2 reasons to do this. There's that proactive implementation, which is obvious, but the one that's not so obvious is defensive. And they moved that placement up. So it used to be that it was below frequently bought together, and sometimes there's a couple of other lines of competitor ads that it would be below. So now that it's up where it is, it's a super defensive strategy. So I would have an ad on as many, at least one virtual bundle on as many of your products as you can, just for defense. But on the proactive side, I think what the first thing you really have to wrap your brain around in virtual bundles is this is not cross-selling. Okay, this is that cross-selling is the process of selling a different product or to a customer to increase the value of the sale, right? So buy the bigger item or multiples. This is upselling. Okay, this is we're increasing price, we're increasing functionality, the yoga pad with the yoga block, those kind of things where you're making, you're essentially adding value to the transaction on your side and on the buyer side as well. And so the probability of upselling an existing customer is much higher than the probability of selling a new prospect, a new to brand. That's why so many people out there are concentrating on the new to brand. That's that growth, but this is growth this way. This is sort of vertical growth on your sales process. Taking the same customer and making them more valuable to you.
I like that. So this is upsell. So it is important that the products are complementary, right? So you probably wouldn't see a whole lot of success selling a garlic press with a phone case.
Correct. Exactly. For proactive implementation. But if all you compare that garlic press with is a phone case, do it for defense.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So at this point, you're not really expecting to get any sales of that particular bundle, but at least you're still pushing your competitors off the page.
Right.
Man, I mean, that's awesome.
One of the early Amazon strategies for defense is to advertise on your own brand names. Well, you're not advertising on your own brand name to distract people who are already on your product page. You just want to occupy that real estate. Well, I just moved that real estate 6 inches down the desktop for free.
Love it. All right. Okay. How do we do this?
All right, real quick and easy. It's for registered brands 2.0 only. You can add multiple bundle offers per product. So there's 5 slots visible. So you can have 5 different bundles per product. You can bundle 2 products, 2 colors of the same product. So you can make packs. You can't bundle 2 of the same product, right? You can't just make a double pack or triple pack out of a virtual bundle. That may come, but I don't. There's so much functionality around just doing that pull down and adding 2, right? Which is actually cheaper for the buyer or the seller, excuse me. So you probably wouldn't want to do that. Bundles are variation specific, so the correct color size variation must be selected for the bundle option to appear on the listing. So if you have black and blue and black is your primary, the main product in your bundle, you're not going to see the bundle on the blue, and you're not going to see it on the green or the red or the yellow either. So Amazon's referral fees apply to all items. So Jeff's going to get his full VIG on every sale. So it's just going to, as far as your fees are concerned, it's just like a customer buying 2 of your products. And you can only bundle stuff that you sell, your ASIN. The last thing that's really, I think you'll start to see when virtual bundles hit some threshold that only Amazon knows, they'll expand the ad platforms that they're on. But right now they're only, you can't run sponsored product ads for a bundle, but you can feature them in sponsored brand ads and video, including video. So that's, and video's has some pretty good conversion rates for our partners, especially because of our creative side. So yeah, it's definitely still worth doing, even though you can't do SPAs on them.
Oh, I mean, sponsor brand ads that's good too, though.
Well, and if you think about the thought process, I'm sure far be it for me to try to climb into Amazon's brain, but it is branding centric, right? You're pairing 2 products that a brand makes. So it does have a little bit more on the branding side than normal. As far as step by step, couple of things. Title has to describe the bundle, right? So the vitamin A and vitamin D bundle, product A plus product B bundle. The price has to be less than buying each one separately, but only by a penny.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, so there's not like a percentage threshold. It's like,
yeah,
as long
you're
as
not
it's
gonna lose
less.
You're gonna lose. You're not gonna lose any sales because they're not gonna do the math, right? I mean, I don't. So
Okay.
I'm happy that I can buy a bundle now because I know at least I've saved a nickel. But yeah, the bundle description. What I do is I put in 1 sentence of what the bundle is. It's each individual listing is populated below, so you're going to get all of that ranking juice out of that main one, not the secondary ones, but the main one. But 5 bullets, I basically just explain the bundle. First bullet is this bundle includes 1 product A plus 2 product B. That's it. That's generally my best practice on the bullets, the first bullet. And then I add 1 bullet from each item until the bullets are filled up, so take my primary bullet from product A, that goes in the 2nd slot, primary bullet from product B goes in the 3rd slot, and so Really, that's it. But I think the thing to remember is the title and bullets of each individual item are automatically displayed, so you don't have to go crazy there. The main image also has to show all the items in the bundle. So if you follow the main image rules with a white background, if you're selling vitamin D and vitamin A, you got to show them both in that main image. The balance, the gallery images, I include the best images that we have of lifestyle, if possible, to get that, to get everything across. If you have pictures of both products or all of the products in the bundle together in an image, great. That's great. But yeah, that's really the step-by-step. As far as what we've found, the best practices, choose your best-selling ASIN, because the main component is how your virtual bundles are discovered. Outside of the sponsored brand ad, really, if you're selling a lot of vitamin A, make it the main component in your bundle. The product bundles are more successful if you create them with items that are frequently bought together. So if you have any frequently bought togethers on any of your SKUs, definitely pair them up and make it easy.
This is a good opportunity too. If you notice, if you see frequently bought together for competitor products along with your product, because maybe people aren't aware that you make both. This is an opportunity for you to kind of take those sales away from competitors by preemptively offering it.
If somebody's buying your yoga mat and someone else's yoga block, you should have a yoga mat and yoga block. And also think about that, take that another step further. I've just pushed my bundle. I pushed that Amazon suggested bundle down the page and replaced it with mine. So to get to that sale, they have to pass on the same thing from one-stop shop.
Right on. I have a technical question really quick. How are virtual bundles only of 2 products at a time?
No, no, you can do up to 5, and I haven't heard of any limitation on the number. So you can do 2 of one, 7 of another, 3 of the third, 4 of a. And that's a good way to sort of get around some of the restrictions in the bundling. If you can't have one product A and one product B as a product A led bundle, and then do product B, one product A as a product B led bundle. The system would say this bundle already exists, but you can do 2 product B and 1 product A as a product B led bundle. So for defensive purposes, or just having a bundle on every listing, you can mix and match and make it happen. I've seen, 5 of one and then a giveaway, something that's not selling. That's another thing you could do here. Take your best product and something you might be thinking about liquidating, and throw it on for an extra $1 instead of paying Amazon to ship it back to you or destroy it. Give it to your loyal customers, and you might get someone who says, hey, this vitamin D is pretty good. I've been using these guys with vitamin A for 2 years, and you never know, right? It's always better to give it to your customers than to give it to Jeff.
Yeah, no, I like that. Those are good tips. Okay. All right. Can we have another example?
Yeah, this is pretty good copy, product 1 plus product 2 bundle, given, nice specifics. You can see underneath, that's the main product. This bundle contains 2 items. The other product was pushed down, but again, for defensive purposes, it does sort of dominate the page when you create a bundle. So much so that in order to have the word show for the webinar, I couldn't even include the second product. So, but you can look here, there is no competing product ad, but that little dog, that blue dog ad, that the SDA there. So this is pretty cool. And if you do some of your own branding, your defensive brand SDAs, you could make this look like your store. So
Yeah.
that's
That is pretty cool, man.
yeah.
All right. So I think we already know the answer to this question. Are virtual bundles worth it? But
Yes.
let's discuss.
I mean, they are quick and easy to set up. You add the ASINs that you want to include. You fill in the title. You fill in the bullets. You pull gallery images. Really, the only custom image you need is that one main image. So you can, if you're good at Photoshop, you can just Photoshop your product A, product B images together. You do the math on the bundle price and you hit save and publish and you're done. And you can add all the ASINs you want. You can protect, you can, I would do it. I would do sort of the heavy lifting, the thinking, the thought work on my sort of the top 20% of my SKUs. Okay, what is this? Does this make sense? Vitamin A, vitamin D, yoga mat, yoga block, those kind of things. But on the other 80%, I just make sure I have at least one bundle on every one, just for defense. And then you look at the bundle report and you see what's hot and you build on that. Just like anything else on Amazon, you keep pressing the gas on what works. So if you find something that's doing well, then maybe start spending money on the sponsored brand ads.
I like it. And you get bundle specific analytics.
It's really crude. They don't show up on your regular analytics. So they almost go through like an MFN purchase where they just show up as two separate buys. So it definitely does not help your metrics. They do send you a separate report, and it's basically, on October 19th, you sold one bundle, for this much, and that's really it. So you really just have to look for successes and then start to invest on the advertising side.
Okay, I like it. All right.
As far as testing, there are a couple of cool things that I would want to do. This is one. You can create a virtual bundles page in your store.
That's cool.
You can do A+ content on a virtual bundle. So there's lots of things that you can do. You can also, like I said earlier, do sponsor brand video ads on the bundles. So there are ways you can get creative here. You can, if you don't have images of the products being used together, you can create an infographic selling the bundle, demonstrating how these two things make sense together. Or you can Photoshop, the items into, real life being used together. So it is, there's lots of things that we can, that you can test. But really it's get them up, see what works, and then leverage, testing and all of that on it.
Yeah.
In terms of traps, things you need to avoid, or just things you have to be on the lookout for, the metrics. Obviously, they're not nearly as robust as the rest of the Amazon environment. So you can get some SKUs because they come out as sort of like free purchases. That's what they look like in the metrics. Couple things you have to keep in mind: they can be returned separately. So but that's probably more of a benefit than a curse.
Yeah.
Bundles currently only display on the desktop, like I said, but and they only show on the product display page of the main product. So that your first product goes in and you'll see the bundle, make this a bundle underneath that. But so that's something you definitely have to keep an eye on. But they do show up organically in searches on mobile. So they'll show up in the grid on the mobile side. They have
That's
separate
awesome.
reviews and ratings, and you can't change them. Once you do it, they're sort of permanent. So if you have a bundle and you change one of the products, you tweak one of the products, so you have to change a SKU or an FN SKU or UPC on the second part of the bundle, you got to kill the bundle and remake a new one.
Start over. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if the price you offer, like I said, it has to be cheaper. If it's over, you'll lose the buy box eligibility, which is really the buy box is the display under the main product essentially. So, since you only have the front end of the listing, there's no back end here, right? So you really have to choose your keywords carefully. I wouldn't stuff, but you don't have to, you can use the fact that the description and the bullets from each piece of the bundle are down below. You can be a little more keyword focused on the description, the bullets of the bundle. And so that's really big deal.
Okay, so this is the cool part, because you mentioned a couple of times, do this with Photoshop, et cetera, but the beautiful thing is our creative services department can help with this, right? So the vast majority of us are not adept, or even like myself, don't even have Photoshop on our computers. So this is definitely not like an option where we're just going to go and kind of create things. But
yeah, I hammered Steve over at ACS, and I'm like, all right, if I'm doing a webinar, you're gonna give me a deal. So this is what he's come up with is for $1,000 you get 5 virtual bundles, 2 product detail pages, and that does include the photoshopping on the main image. So you get a lot of blocking and tackling work. You can go at it. What I would do is I would make this your proactive approach. Bundles. You can, on the defensive side, like I said, you're just trying to occupy real estate, so you don't avail yourself of Steve's skills just to block stuff out, right? So
right.
Go at those top products, those ones that are going to get decent discoverability because the main component has decent session volume.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good deal. I won't even embarrass Steve by telling everybody what he would normally charge for that.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. So fantastic, excellent deal, and I really do appreciate you working with Steve on coming up with something. So we are upon Q4 right now. I definitely think that it's a great time. People are not taking advantage of virtual bundles yet to go ahead and jump in so that if you can maximize any amount of the revenue and profit you're going to make. I mean, this could just be that slight edge, that pushes you ahead of competitors and really does help pad the profits that you gain from this season. So I definitely encourage, anybody that needs help with this to reach out. You can reach out to CANOPY Management on pretty much anywhere on our website that says contact us if there's a form, or go to canopymanagement.com/webinar offer. There is a place for you to contact us there too. The replay will be on that page, and then below that will be a way to communicate with us. So thank you very much, Patrick, for
having me.
Laying out what the virtual bundles are, but more importantly, those really cool little hacks, ways to. I'm really digging this virtual bundle thing, because just like you said, if you take a proactive approach on the sponsored brand ad side, as well as the virtual bundles, and then even adding the option on your storefront, you could literally dominate every page that you exist on Amazon as just being branded. So it's like Amazon, and then there's your brand, and that's a great thing.
And this is, we all know how expensive Amazon real estate has gotten in the last 12 or 18 months. This is free real estate. This is your, the defensive posture. You are literally diminishing the value of your competitors bidding on your brand, or showing up on the bottom of your product detail page. So, and you can run coupons on it too. I forgot to say, you could throw coupons on these as well. you
So
can
like
get-
the orange tab or the green tab
yeah,
coupons.
you
Oh
get
man,
little eye candy on them. Your main image is going to be a little different because it's going to have multiple products in it. Little eye candy with the coupon might help you run up the SERP as well.
that's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that last little. See, it's people got to watch the whole thing to get all the value.
Late nuggets.
So, the late nugget. Anyway, well, again, thank you very much to everybody tuning in. Reach out if we can help, but definitely start testing those bundles. And anywhere that you see this or anywhere you see us talking about it, or just come to the Facebook page if you like, share what you have either accomplished with virtual bundles in the past or what you plan to. Would love to open up the conversation. As a community, we help each other by having conversations about these tactics because Amazon rolls out so much stuff. I mean, look at all the tools they recently came out with. A couple of them we're still waiting on. A couple of them are just now reaching, beta status with people. If we don't talk about them, then so many sellers just completely miss out on the opportunity. So let's have conversations around this too. And yeah, that's it. So again, thank you. And thank you everybody that tunes in. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your afternoon. And we'll, till next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.